And now I am so excited that we're finishing up our The Story series with some of my favorite stories, which is the stories of what God is doing in our lives and in this community. So we're doing a senior share night. This is a tradition that we have started here at Hope Bucky. So if you are a senior who is sharing, if you want to just come to the front row right up here, just here closer, or like you guys are probably all really close already. So what this is that each senior is just going to share some different stories of how God has been moving in their lives. They're going to be sharing. They're also going to be sharing some wisdom of ways that they've seen God, but also ways that we can run after Him. So this is awesome. Is Lauren here? I haven't seen her. So we're skipping the first person. Lauren was going to share, but she's not able to make it tonight, and that is okay. So the next person is a surprise. Drum roll, please. I don't have the clicker. Is Haley. Give it up for Haley. Awesome.
Yes, you did. Hey guys. My name's Haley. I'm 18 and I'm a senior at Northwest High School. So to start, I wanted to just share a little bit about me and my journey through Ignition. I started in Power Life in 7th grade, and from there, at some point around then, I started playing bass for the youth ministry band here. And when I was kind of thinking about what I really wanted to talk about tonight, all that kept coming up in my mind was just all the people I've met here and just all the things I've learned from all of them. I've met so many people that have just been here to listen to me share my day, and they're always there to ask me, how are you, and what's new with you? And that's just something that always meant a lot to me, because sometimes it feels like life goes by so fast you don't have time to even think about that. And being on the worship team has brought me into such great community. I've met so many new people I probably would have never gotten to know if I hadn't been there. As someone who suffers from anxiety and is a very big perfectionist, I've always had a fear of doing things wrong or just getting up there and out there to share my story or even play bass. That was a huge and scary thing for me because I didn't want to mess up. But as I started to do it more and just continue to play and continue to be around these people, this peace just kept coming over me. And while I still get anxious, don't get me wrong, I've noticed it started to calm down a lot ever since I've started coming here and just being around these people that don't expect perfection. They just want you and they want your heart. And so if I had to take away one thing from my years at Ignition, it would be to just get involved in those communities and don't be afraid to be vulnerable in them either. Because when we get vulnerable, it's how we get people to be vulnerable with us, and it's how we experience real community with each other. And as Romans 12 says, so is it with Christ's body. We are many parts of one body, and we all belong to each other. We are meant to be in community with each other. We are meant to experience those things together, not alone. So let's continue to build that community and share it with others. Thank you.
Awesome. That was so good. Okay, up next is Val, and then on deck is Kellen.
Hi, Ignition. My name is Valiant Jepta, but most of you know me as Val. I am a graduating senior this year, and I'm very excited, obviously. And a little about me is I hate moving. I hate change. Once my family and I moved to the States, I was like, okay, I am done moving. I am done changing. In 8th grade year, I was in a position where I was looking for a group to belong to. I was looking for friends. I was looking to grow my faith. So 8th grade year, I started working on my own to build my faith by myself. No group. And I remember towards the end of the year, I prayed to God, please, God, lead me to a group of friends. I already had a group of friends, but I wasn't really close to them. But I was like, dear God, I pray that my connection with these friends grows stronger as we head into high school year. Fast forward into freshman year. My family was blessed with a wonderful home here in the Waukee area, and I had to move once again. You couldn't have imagined my frustration because I was, God, this is not exactly what I prayed for. I asked to be closer with my friends, and you moved me a distance away. New place, new school, new people, no friends. So I spent a lot of freshman year alone. I found some few people, but we weren't quite close yet. So I spent a lot of that time just me, myself, and I, still trying to grow my faith on my own. And then fast forward to sophomore year, a friend, after practice, invited me to something called Ignition. And I was like, okay, I have nothing to do that night. Might as well. So I showed up here. I remember, I think I was like 10 minutes late, per usual. And I just stood there like a rock during worship and everything. And after that, I felt so out of place. But after that, I still kept showing up time after time, coming here night after night. And through the 3 years I've been here, God has really blessed me by this space I've been in and the people I've met. First of all, my small group. I love these girls to death. I would literally take a bullet for them. These girls have seen me cry. They've seen me laugh. They've been there for some of the worst moments in my life, and they have been a pivotal part of growing my faith. I can tell you I did all that I could to grow my faith alone. Before I met these girls, but I cannot tell you how much my faith has grown around them. They're just so always encouraging, always loving. I also met my mentor, Katie Dre, and from the first night to our upcoming last night, she has been nothing but a pillar of light and love. And also through my internship, I've been in this space of Hope Waukee and just grown to love serving. I've grown to meet a lot of you and a lot of people here. I've grown to actually start liking middle schoolers after working with them for a year. Spent some time with them. They're kind of cool. And I've just grown to grow a heart of servitude, and here is where I kind of felt a calling to work in ministry. We'll see where that goes. I'm still praying over that, but I have loved being here, and I love being around my girls. I've loved growing up with them, and I cannot wait to walk into this next chapter with them. So one thing I will leave with you is invest your time in your community. As Haley said, we are meant to be in community. There's a lot of stuff you can do alone, but there's so much power in a multitude of people. When you have people praying over you, a faith-centered community praying over you, giving you advice, and people you can lean back on, life is just so much easier. And the road is hard, but I believe in you guys, and thank you.
Okay, up next we have Kellen, and then on deck we have Kenzie.
Sorry, precaution. I just got my wisdom teeth out, so my jaw hurts a little bit. So if I talk a little weird, that's why. But yeah, so I'm Kellen Crowett. I've been through the whole Power Life program. I got confirmed here. I've been in Ignition for 4 years. It's been an amazing experience, and you've probably seen me on the worship band too. I started playing piano at first, then I started singing as well, and so I've been doing both ever since. So it's been really fun. And so I'm gonna start with a couple of verses from James 1. And they say, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you'll be perfect and complete, needing nothing. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke for you for asking, but when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone." So I have this photo album of this compilation of verses, devotions, and just sermon notes that I've had over the last couple of years, and they just resonated me for a varying amount of reasons. And when I was writing and thinking about what I wanted to say, I found these verses from a screenshot about 2 years ago, and I immediately found the connection that I have been trying to put into words. And it's that my faith journey in high school and how God's leading me in my next adventure, and how it's just taught me so many valuable and influential lessons that I know that it will carry me well past high school and as I go into my next journey. Overall, I would say my faith has given me a broader perspective on life with many troubles that I faced. I would say above anything, these experiences and difficulties have actually shaped me to be the person I am today. And throughout high school, these have been definitely brought up by sins. There are temptations. Definitely some were like creating confusion or feelings of just loneliness, or I've dealt with some depressional thoughts as well. And even sometimes just doubting the plan or blueprint that God has had for my life. But then this maybe come through not succeeding academically or athletically, or just uncertainty of the future, which has definitely been apparent this year, and just troubles with relationships and friendships throughout high school. And I know it's just a unique experience being a high schooler in this day and age, but Ignition has always been a home, and that's just always been a community that's been a constant in my life. More importantly, it's taught me that I'm set free of all those sins and troubles God rules over, and God rules over it all. He's king. Like, actually, what else do we have in our lives? Because I've tried so many other things, and there's nothing that compares to it. Throughout my time in this ministry, I've realized about having this foundation of faith and loyalty to a God-loving community and a journey to chase after God's heart, and realize how fulfilling and freeing it is. I've been propelled into the next stages of my life to live a life with a heart like Jesus and a faith that doesn't falter with the temptations of sin. So what is my advice to the underclassmen? I would say two things. First, reevaluate the priorities you have in your life currently. As I look around in this room right now, I see so many of my friends, mentors, peers that have given me a sense of community that's been definitely one of a kind. And to find those people in your life who push you to keep going through the troubles and to lead you to realign your values and beliefs. You might think that all of your other experiences and other daily things in your life are more worthy, but there's seriously nothing that amounts to it as time goes on. Someone might be searching, secondly, just love like Jesus did. I know it kind of sounds cliche, but love the people around you and the life that God has given you. Someone might be searching for that small bit of light, and to be honest, I've learned that the person giving it feels so much better too. I've worked to strive to show how gratitude towards everything in my life, because everything is simply a blessing from the mastery work of God. I'm just a little speck that's in awe of it all. And I just also want to thank Robert, Julia, Riley, and Jesse, and all the other staff and mentors who have made these nights in the ministry so important in my life, and I'm going to miss so much. Additionally, I want to thank all of you guys, my friends and peers, that have given me a sense of belonging that cannot be replicated anywhere else. And lastly, I want to thank God for everything He's done in my life throughout high school, and the lasting memories that I will hold on as I embark on my next steps in my journey. To be honest, I am so scared and nervous for what's to come. However, I remind myself that I'm under God's guidance, which will never let me go astray. Thank you so much.
Okay, up now is Kenzie, and then on deck we have Savannah.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Kenzie. I go to Northwest. I would start off by saying this is very out of my comfort zone. I would not normally do this, but God kind of spoke to me into sharing a little bit about my faith journey. So today I could have chosen to talk about my whole life with my faith, but I wanted to talk about a specific point in my life, which was actually this year, my senior year. So it definitely has not been at all what I expected it to be, and senior year has been a lot harder than I thought it would. Before August, I was pretty uncertain about where I wanted to go to college. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't really know where I was going to go, and I was a little uncertain and getting pretty anxious about the idea that I would be going to college a year from then. The start of senior year, my life was pretty good. I was starting my last cross-country season. It was going pretty well, and then that's kind of where it all started going a little downhill. So I got injured, and I couldn't run for like a month, and I had to miss a meet. So this hit me pretty hard just because I wanted to experience all the last of the last, and so I felt like I wasn't getting the full effect of it, I guess. So I pushed through, and I made it, made the most of it. And then during that, I was also going through a lot of friendship issues. I lost one of good friends of mine. We kind of just grew apart, and so that was pretty hard for me, but I still pushed through again. And then a few weeks later, I got sick, and I had to miss my last ever cross-country race. So that was pretty hard. At the time, I was also struggling with some mental issues. And I just kept thinking, why would this happen to me my senior year of high school? I was I was just going to enjoy the ride, smooth through my last year, have fun, and all I wanted to is enjoy it. And that was, my plan. Now, if any of you know me, you know that I have to have things go to plan. Otherwise, I get pretty anxious about it, and it kind of makes me stress out a lot. But this year, God has been teaching me a lot that everything can't really go the way that I expect it to. a lot of things have happened that I'm just like, oh, okay, I did not plan for this to happen, but I had to like push through because you can't do anything about it. And so I thought about this a lot. I still thought I could fix everything. I was trying to do it all on my own. I relied on God and everything, but I just was like, okay, no, I can fix this. Like, I've got this. I thought I could do it by myself, but no. Then I started to search for roommates for college, and I posted on the Instagram pages if anyone has seen that, and I didn't get anybody to reach out to me, so I was like, okay, I'll reach out to other people. Nobody reached out to me, and then a few weeks later, one of our good family friends reached out to us, and they're like, hey, are you guys looking for someone to room with? And it ended up that their daughter's best friend was looking for a roommate and was going to the same college as I. And we met and like instantly connected. And this was like a huge God moment for me because she was so deep in her faith. She had a super bright personality. I was like, okay, this girl is going to be good for me next year. And we've literally only met once, but it feels like we're already best friends. So this was a huge God moment for me. And I figured out that he was making me wait. Like, I couldn't have it go to my plan that I wasn't finding people, but he was making me wait for that bright personality in her. I've learned this year that God really does have a plan for me, even though like I tried to do it on my own. I was like, okay, now I gotta let God do the work. I started to rely on other people. I realized all my friends. This year I've gotten a lot closer with new people, and I've grown deeper in my friendships with my other ones. And it's just really comforting to know that everyone's there for you because like in the moment it feels like you have to do it all by yourself. So it's really comforting in that. I realized at these low moments that leaning on God and trusting him would be the best thing I could ever do. Actually, last week I heard a quote from church that said, believe in the one he has sent. And now I just started to trust Jesus with my plans. I started praying every single time I felt anxious for God to use his plan and like be able to help me follow him and know that not everything is able to go perfectly because obviously that's not realistic. But I've learned so much about myself this past year. Like, I've learned so many things that I never knew before. And it's really helped me grow deeper in my faith to Jesus and also all the people in my life, too. I've leaned on all of them so much. And I would say even though this has been one of, like, the hardest school years I've been through, I also would not regret any of it. Like, it has been so beneficial for me to learn all these things before I have to go off and be in a new environment in college. And like I thought in college, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on my own. Like all my friends are gone. But then I realized like by meeting this new roommate, I'm gonna meet so many new people that can be that light for me, just like my high school friends have in the past. So my faith has gotten so much stronger, and I think that God was leading me closer to him through all of this. And I would not be where I am right now without everything in Jesus. And I also would not be where I am without Ignition. So thank you to Ignition and to all the people that have helped me through all these years. And I will never forget the times that I had here.
Awesome. Okay, up now is Savannah, and then on deck is Lexi. Yeah, you got this.
Thank you. All right. Hello, my name is Sylvana Canella, and I am a senior over at Northwest High School. So I would just like to start off with a Bible verse that I believe everybody should hear. A person's steps are made secure by the Lord when they delight in his way. Though they trip up, they won't be thrown down because the Lord holds their hand. This verse is from Psalm 37:23-24. To me, this means when you follow God's guidance and trust in his plan for your life, he will help guide you. Even when things are tough, you might face challenges, but you won't be knocked down for good because God is always there to support and lift you up. It's a reminder that even when life feels uncertain, you are not alone. God is always there, holding your hand and guiding you through life. As I've been looking back through my high school years lately, there's definitely been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of tough roads, and I don't know. It's sad that it's ending, but I'm kind of happy about it, low-key. But there's been a little bit of doubt, I'm not going to lie, but I feel like that's something that everybody will experience. But if you just lean into God, it would all be good. I believe that I am where I am right now because of God. Some advice that I have for all of you is to just put your trust in the Lord and always lean on him. Thank you.
job. Okay, up now is Lexi, and then after that is Shelby.
Okay, I don't know how I'm supposed to go after all these, but wow, I'll try my best. So, obviously I'm a senior. I go Northwest. So I always went to church growing up. I never really felt like it was like my faith, until Ignition started, because like it's your parents telling you to go to church. But then when I got to Ignition, I did then feel like it was my choice at that point, because you're the one driving you're the one taking yourself to church. So that's kind of when I felt like it was my faith at that point. But before that, I did Power Life, got confirmed, all this stuff. And I always felt God present during like prayer and worship nights on retreats, but then I would feel like distant the rest of the time, like on my own. And then I heard a pastor preach about trusting God, and that they prayed like to take people out of their lives that aren't supposed to be there and like open new doors for people who are supposed to be there. And it was like, I didn't really want to pray that, because I didn't want people to get taken out of my life, because I wanted to be in control. But I decided to trust and do it, and it was really good. And I met some really good friends that were brought into my life like at that time. So I do know that that was God moving. And I went to Big Stuff on like the Ignition trip, and I met some really good friends, and that helped move faith from like a church thing to like a life thing. So instead of just like encountering God at church on Sundays, I then like actually felt him like in like friend groups and like outside of church, because they were like always uplifting and not like gossiping and all that stuff. So that was really good. And then I continued to like stay friends with them. And just during the busyness of junior year and junior year, I would like stray away, But then I went to the Colorado trip last summer, and I was brought back to the exact same group that I was for Big Stuff. And so that was really cool, seeing that like your community is still there for you. And I think that that's a big thing that we can all remember. And so I joined the student leadership team also to like keep going with like community stuff. And that was really good, just to like, because that's also different grades. So it's not just like girls in your grade, like it's all different people, so you can connect to even more people. And then I've been crazy busy through senior year, like we all have, and kind of struggled to find time to like read the Bible and make it to church. But then it just keeps coming back that like it's your small group that's like kind of makes it all like work out, you know what I mean? And so that's super important to just keep them like at the center. And so two things that is like a takeaway is like keep your community, obviously very important, but then also I heard this song, and there's like the lyrics of it say, write scripture on your heart for when you need it. And I think that that's really important, because even when you are busy, if you have like prepared the scripture for your heart to like think about, then that's the first thing that comes to your mind like when you're in like a tough situation. So instead of like thinking about what the world would want you to do, it kind of just pops into your head like automatically about what God says and what the Bible says. So I think those are two big things to keep with you.
Awesome. We've had some absolutely phenomenal senior shares, and now we have our last one. It's Shelby.
All right. I wasn't originally going to speak, but God called me to speak like an hour ago, so we're doing it. All right. My name's Shelby, and I'm a senior at Northwest. I've been going here since Power Life, and I'm going to Iowa State next year for marketing. And here's a little bit of my story and how God has moved through my life these past years at Hope. A couple years ago, my journey with depression and anxiety started, and I didn't know really where to turn. I feel like there's a big boundary around talking about mental health, so I kept it to myself, and I never really told anyone about it until one night at Ignition. I was feeling a burden so heavily that I decided God wanted me to talk about it finally. I explained how I tried to fix myself and everything that was happening with what the world had to offer. I used temporary distractions to fill a void that couldn't be filled by materialistic things of this world. I received nothing but love and comfort from my group when I shared my testimony, and ever since then, I've been open about my mental health and have tried using my journey and experiences to help others. Along with this, I have truly found a deeper meaning of God's unconditional love and forgiveness, and how much He truly can change overnight. If I had one thing that I wanted everyone to know, it would be that no matter who you are or what you have done, God doesn't see you for your sins or what you have done. He sees you as his child that he died for, and he would do it again if he had to. My favorite church song is Peace Be Still, because while as seniors are flying through this last month of school, it's important to slow down and be still and take the time to recognize what transitions God is making in our lives and what he's calling us to do. I couldn't be more grateful for the friends and lifelong connections I have made here, and I want to thank Rachel, my group, and Robert, and I want to thank God as well, because I wouldn't be the person I am today without this community and without this church.
Let's give it up for our seniors. It has been such a great joy to hear the stories of God moving both in the lives of our seniors. And this last Friday, we had the 8th graders turn their faith statements. So the last 6 days, I've been reading about 150 of those. But what it always comes down to remind me to is that church isn't just this thing that we show up to. Church, like Ignition, Wednesday nights, Sunday mornings, whatever it is. It's not just this thing we do because our friends are there. It's not just this thing we do because it's the right thing to do, but it's this place where we encounter God. It's a place where our lives are transformed. And when I listen to the seniors and they share it, they say, actually, when you do take that step out, when you do invest in praying and speaking with God, when you do read scripture, when you do join a team and invest in this community, we see God move. And these stories, they aren't perfect stories. They're not ones where they say, oh, I've been the perfect Christian my whole life. But it's one to say, wherever my story has gone, that God has been there.